Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. It's Claytano. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. And today we are back with a series that I haven't done in a really long time. It's top arena defenses and why they work. Okay, and in this series, I basically fight some of the best defenses out there in the game, and then I go take a look at the runes, show you guys what makes them tick, and then how you could potentially make something for yourself as well. So in today's video though, something came up in my Twitch streams that I thought was a really good question, and I wanted to answer it for you guys here on YouTube as well. If you guys haven't taken a look at my Twitch channel, make sure you guys head over there, follow me. I stream Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time, twitch.tv/Claytano. It's a lot of fun. But for today's video, I want to focus on one specific unit, and her name is Sekhmet, okay? And I'm going to be fighting this person named Vici, or VC. I don't know how exactly you want to pronounce it, but I'm fighting this person with a Sekhmet because people think that Sekhmet is like a really, really bad monster. And I want to just kind of break that persona right now, because I really think that she can be used in a extremely useful way where she can be effective on arena defense. And I think maybe stretching a little bit to say that her best area to be used in is actually arena defense. If nothing else, you would use her in arena defense. So the idea behind Sekhmet, in my opinion, so I looked around for a ton of different defenses trying to find one that actually had a Sekhmet and one that had it being used correctly. And I think Vici was the closest one that I thought it was being used correctly with, where you want your Sekhmet to be going really, really fast. You want it to be super fast on Swift, because what your goal is to basically have it outspeed the enemy's Tiana, because Tiana is used in so many different arena offenses, whether it's even Guardian, Conqueror, even fighters have Tiana nowadays. So you really want to be kind of figuring out a way to combat against the Tiana offenses. So Sekhmet, being a fire unit, is amazing to actually counter Tianas, which is really, really important to do, because she has this third skill here called Charming Voice, and it attacks an enemy, stealing all beneficial effects, and sets all of the enemy's skills on max cooldown. So it's kind of like the same thing that Okeanos has, where you strip the skills and then you reset cooldowns. So to have it on a fire monster like Sekhmet, you're able to remove any will that Tiana might have, and then you're also able to put the skills on cooldown like a Zeros would as well. And then you have to make sure that you're following it up with some type of immunity unit. And in this case, Vici has the Triana, because if you reset a Tiana and you don't have any sort of immunity, you don't have any sort of will runes or anything else to go along with it, what like difference is that going to make, right? What difference is that going to make? Because they're just going to come back, galleon you, cleave you, kill you, you're dead. The only other option you would have is maybe if they're using a bomb team against you with Sierra, Tiana, and then like Bastet and another bombing unit, then you could potentially hit the Sierra, and if you hit the Sierra, if you strip her skills or strip her will and then reset her skills, then at that point, then it's a little bit harder for them to kill you because they can't detonate the bombs right away, but you still need to have some sort of like cleanse or some sort of immunity to follow up the Sekhmet. Does that make sense? So your idea is to have your Sekhmet super fast, a lot of accuracy, because you want to be able to strip, reset those Tianas or those Tritons even, or anything that's going to be able to like remove will from you. And then you also want to follow it up with a Wusa, a Veligible, or anything that can put up some type of immunity, so that way you can like get the most out of your Sekhmet. So in this case, he has every component that he really needs, and that's why I kind of wanted to showcase this specific arena defense for you guys today, because Sekhmet can be used effectively. So what happens is he has the 33% speed leader skill from the Samath, and then he has his Sekhmet built really fast, which we'll take a look at here in just a second. And then he has his Triana. The only thing is, I would say his Triana is a little bit slower than what it should be, because it can potentially be cut in between, and it may or may not be as effective as it could be. Instead, if like that was maybe a Wusa there or something. but I can see where he has the Feng Yan there instead. He wants to have a little bit more play against like a Lucian composition, because I think that would be like the best way to actually attack this specific defense is with a Lucian, where you're outspeeding, you're resetting the skills with the Samath, and then you are Lucianing them down. So with something like this would probably be what I wanted to fight him against. And the only thing that I would say is if he had a Wusa, then at that point he could have the shield not like, not get removed or whatever else. But basically he needs to be extremely, extremely fast with his Sekhmet, and you need to be able to figure out how to combat against Lucian AOs, because that is pretty much your main weakness if you use this type of defense. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys basically how it works with the typical Sierra bomb team. Okay, I'm using Sierra, Tiana, Bastet, and Malacca, and you guys can see kind of how it works. Although Sekhmet's AI isn't really that great all the time, most of the time it'll work exactly how it's planned, which is what happened right here. So as you can see, my Tiana got reset, which is exactly what it wanted to do. And now I can only bomb 2 of the units because, again, the other ones have will on them. But if, say that Triana instead was super fast, or if he used a super fast Wusa or any type of super fast immunity that can kind of come right in between the Sekhmet, or even go before the Sekhmet as well. Say if you had like a 300 speed Wusa and then you had your Sekhmet, as long as your Sekhmet is faster than a Tiana, then you're Gucci right there, you're fine. So in this case, I would have to bomb out those 2 units. Again, I missed, it cut in between. I lost this match just simple as day, just like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just end battle, so that way we can get it back into it with a different type of arena offense. So just like that, though, Sekhmet turned that whole thing around just because it was able to reset my Tiana. Now, I don't have will on my Tiana for the reasons that I want to just make it faster, and that's perfectly fine. But even if it had will on it, even if I had shield on it or anything else, you would have just been able to strip it, reset it, and then it would have the same exact effect. So I'm gonna go ahead and fight it again, and I'll show you guys with a cleave arena offense team. And the 2 most common buff strippers for offense is Tiana and Triton. So same thing, whether it's a Tiana or a Triton, it's still a wind unit, it's still a wind stripping unit, and Sekhmet is going to target that wind stripping unit, right? So just to show you guys, again, it's gonna have the same exact effect as the last time, as long as it uses its correct skill. It did not, so in this case, it derped. But the fact that it can happen is really the main thing that you want on your arena defense, especially if someone knows that it can happen during arena rush hour. They're going to take a gamble fighting your arena defense. So they can either say, I'm going to go after it and hope that the Sekhmet derps and be fine, or I'm going to go after it, and if the Sekhmet hits its skill exactly how it's supposed to, then I lost and I can go down in points. Most people in that situation during arena rush hour aren't going to take that risk, especially if it's like, I don't know, last 10, 15 minutes of the arena closing. But in this case, I should be okay to actually win this. I don't want to win it because I want to try one more arena offense against it for you guys to showcase that as well, which is the Lucian AO. Okay, so we'll go back one more time to that. I do have to refresh real quick. Give me a second. All right, so now the last one we're gonna bring against it is going to be the Lucian AO. And these are the 3 most common types of arena offenses. So if you can kind of figure out a way to deter these 3 types of arena offenses to fight against you, then you're gonna be in good shape, I promise. Especially during rush hour. So maybe midweek, people might just end up like bruisering you out, taking a little bit slower time, or switching their arena offenses around to fit your specific defense. But during arena rush hour, most people aren't gonna waste the time. They'll just move on to somebody else's defense, which makes it so that way you don't lose and you go up faster in your arena ranks because you're not getting hit down as much. So in this case, I'm gonna go ahead and outspeed the Sekhmet, which can happen. Again, if your Sekhmet doesn't outspeed a majority of other people's Tianas, which is like, I would say around 280 speed is like kind of safe it's hard for people, and most people don't have Tianas around 280 speed unless you get up into like Guardian, maybe Guardian 2-ish. Of course, there's the few outliers that have some really fast Tianas, but most people don't build their Tianas that fast, okay? So in this case, I outspeed with my team, and I'm gonna go ahead and use Overwhelm. Now, I wasn't able to land the reset onto Triana, so this is kind of, it's still a bad situation for me. Like I said, you want to be able to figure out a way where you're not gonna get Lucianed either. And if we do this, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for me to win this. It's not like super easy. I can potentially win this, but it's not necessarily set in stone where I'm absolutely going to win it. So we'll just go ahead and play this out since this is the last time. I got reset and killed from the Sekhmet, and at this point, I didn't win. Now, if you think about a different way to actually fight this arena defense, you can put in like, maybe like a double Lucian could potentially beat this arena defense as well, but it would have to be runed almost perfectly in order for it to actually work with like will runes on your second Lucian. You would have to have your Bernard being faster than the Sekhmet along with the Samath lead without a leader, right? So then you'd have to go like Bernard, Bastet, Lucian, Lucian. That could be potentially something that would work against this defense. But then if the Triana is built on Nemesis, you might get cut in between. So there's a whole different like loads of factors that can actually make you lose this in multiple different ways against multiple different arena offenses. So let's go ahead and just take a look real quick at the runes that he was using. And I think VT right now is around rank 14. I'm not sure why it doesn't show any of the profile pictures since like the server was down a couple days ago. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up his units though. He had the Samath leader, which is only plus 91 speed, but he has a lot of attack power, crit rate, crit damage, and the resistance and accuracy is kind of on the lower end, but the fact that it's built on will actually had a little bit more playability against my Samath Lucian team. If you saw, I wasn't able to reset it with my Samath, so it was able to come back to life when I Lucianed it down. But he has attack, crit damage, attack. So with it being attack, crit damage, attack on Despair Will with like that much speed is actually really, really strong and powerful. And then if we go on to the, let's actually take a look at the Triana next, which is right here. So plus 109, 23,000 HP, pretty decent resistance at 61%, but it's on Violent Revenge, which this could potentially, you know, put somebody to sleep or something, but I would say mostly it might be better on Nemesis, but obviously it worked just fine on Revenge, so that's something that you guys can use as well. The Fangyon that he had was plus 91 speed with really high crit rate actually, and some really good HP and defense, and that was on defense, HP with Violent Will, and then just the kind of the showcase monster that we're taking a look at today, which is Sekhmet. It is on Swift, and again, that's how I recommend everybody building their Sekhmets because I think that's like the best way to do it, and that is speed, defense, accuracy with those substats, and it's plus 177, 84% accuracy, so that's why it's able to land that strip reset almost on a pretty consistent basis for the most part. But anyway, guys, for those of you that were wondering, is Sekhmet decent or not? Hopefully this kind of clears that up for you guys and you're able to maybe put your Sekhmets to good use in your arena defenses. Again, you can either have your immunity going really fast before your Sekhmet or right after your Sekhmet, but either way, just make sure you have some type of immunity buffer going after your Sekhmet. Otherwise, it's not going to have that same type of effect or outcome that you're looking for. But aside from that, hopefully you guys learned something. Go ahead and drop a like and subscribe as well if you did. And comment down below how you use your Sekhmets. And aside from that, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, stay soupy, don't be potatoes. And I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, peace.